What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 41 here on the 52 Horrific Weeks of 1988. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for dropping in, guys. Alrighty, yeah. Week 41 is upon us. And, so yeah, the remaining few films went into that randomizer, hit that random button, and we've got another trauma title. I believe this is the fourth one that's come up in the randomizer, and that is Death by Dialogue. Such a creative title. Of course, this being a trauma title, it is pretty low budget. But this one right here is starring an interesting face. Ken Sagos, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Probably better known for his amazing role in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. Kincaid is in this film. So, Kincaid, I think, in my opinion, was one of the best characters in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, but of course he kind of plays like a very similar character in this film. You know, he's kind of over the top a little bit, a little tough and whatnot, so very reminiscent of his Dream Warrior days and a little bit of Part 4. But yeah, getting into the plot of this one, it centers around your five main characters. Carrie in particular is the main character. He is basically gathered up four of his friends, and they've went out to his uncle's place out in the country for a weekend getaway of, you know, partying and just getting away for the weekend and stuff. His uncle's a very interesting guy. He's confined to a wheelchair and whatnot and stuff. But soon after, you know, arriving at the place and whatnot, the uncle and his housekeeper or his maid that takes care of his uncle, they basically tell them that his uncle's really busy and whatnot, and that they need to stay in the studio set that's actually next door to his house. And it's like a full-blown, you know, basically movie set, which is pretty cool. So they set up shop in there, and they start doing what they're doing for the weekend, drinking, having some fun and whatnot. And one of the females, she finds a movie script, like an unfinished movie script, and she starts reading the movie script and whatnot. Soon after finding the movie script, a couple of friends end up getting killed. And then she soon kind of puts two and two together, and she realizes that the script possibly has something to do with it, because when she was reading the script, there was pages that were blank and the title was different and whatnot. And she noticed that her friends kind of got killed in the exact same way that was written in the script. So of course they start kind of wondering what the fuck is going on. So then Carrie asks his uncle, what's the deal with this script, if there is anything in fact wrong with this thing or anything going on. And then the uncle soon tells them that basically the script is kind of like possessed. He tells this crazy backstory about when he was in the Amazon jungle. He was there doing some work with these tribes or whatever. There was a reporter there that was being a real nuisance to this tribe. This tribe ended up killing this reporter. They ended up kind of putting his body into this coffin or whatnot and stuff like that. And soon after that happened, some bad shit started happening to his tribesmates. They told the uncle to take back this thing, you know, take back this body and coffin back to his place or whatever, but he does, which is a very weird story. And then soon after, you know, crazy things start happening on this movie set next to his house. Originally the script was titled Victim. Throughout the years the number kept changing, which is accordingly due to the amount of victims that the script is actually written in and ended their lives. So when they find the script is entitled Victim 67, so at that point it had been like 67 victims and whatnot and stuff. So basically now what they have to try and figure out is they have to kind of like beat the script. They have to basically kind of contain this script and figure out a way to stop it so it doesn't write their fates, essentially. So that is the insane plot for such a low-budget film. Now, getting into my thoughts on this one. Now, again, like I said, this one is a really low-budget film, but it's actually pretty fun. You know, it's got very typical things going on in a film like this. It's got a very low budget. You can tell it's shot pretty poor, you know, at times. Even the editing at times is pretty bad and stuff, but you know, the acting is exactly what you expect. It's pretty kind of average, actually. It's not the worst thing in the world. But it does have a really solid script. You know, for the time that this was made, there wasn't too many movies like this with, you know, scripts coming to life and killing off people and whatnot. I know that storyline's kind of been played out now. It's been done a million times, but you know, for the time, I think it was actually pretty cool. Now, the death scenes in this are very low budget, very cheesy, but lots of fun. This one has a very interesting kind of full. It's got a lot of character to it. You know, it's got it's got some pretty rockin' 80s hair metal in it. The score is not bad, but it does suffer from very low production values, though, at times. Like, even the sets that they use, like, you can tell that they're just, you know, just kind of put together and whatnot. But with that said, at times it does create some pretty decent atmosphere in this. It's not too bad. So that's pretty cool. And I got to say, like, what they did with, you know, creating all these kind of, like, demon motorcycle gang members and, like, there's certain monsters that they threw into this. I thought it was actually pretty well done. It kind of reminded me of, like, almost like maybe a lower budget Spookies in a way. If you can get any lower budget than Spookies. But I don't know, for some weird reason when I was watching, it just kind of reminded me of that movie at times. But overall, it's got like this real kind of elegant charm to it, which is very, you know, I know a lot of people won't be able to appreciate films like this. Me personally, I really do like these low budget films. They always hold that charm for me. But you know, it's definitely for the hardcores. I couldn't recommend this to people that don't really like these low budget films, but overall it's got a pretty decent premise to it. It's executed probably to the best of their abilities and whatnot. It does suffer from a pretty bad end scene. Like, the last like 2-3 minutes of this film was pretty poor. It's almost laughable. But you know, throughout the film, it's got a pretty decent build up to it. There is a couple slower moments of this, which, you know, I think, in my opinion, this one runs about 90 minutes. I think it probably could have been about 10 minutes shorter. They could have cut out a few things. There is parts that drag a little too much, but you know, low budget, 80s cheese right here, and I think it's pretty fun. I honestly think it's a lot of fun. So, you know, the kills, not too bad, not overly gory, but it is cheesy effects, which I do like. There's one scene almost with like a melting face that's so laughable. I believe it's actually on the back cover, if you can show that, if you can see that right there. But yeah, it's pretty funny, and I don't know, I think they did the best they could with what they had. So I don't really know what else to say by Death by Dialogue. If I had to rate it, I'm gonna give it maybe a 6 to 6.5, somewhere in there. Like I said, it's just, if I had one, you know, little gripe with the film, I wish that they had utilized the hair metal music a little more in this film. I think it could have added a little bit more kind of oomph to it, especially in the last 30 minutes. But, you know, overall, it still has a pretty decent 80s charm. So, Death by Dialogue, definitely give it a shot. This is actually part of the Toxie Blood Bank, like the red tin collection. So, if you have this and you haven't watched it, definitely check it out. Or I think that's pretty much the only way you can get it. I know you can get it in these like 3-packs, these 3 film Toxie sets and whatnot, but yeah, check it out. Pretty fun if you like your low budget Troma releases. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for week 41. I will see you next week, and we are getting down to it. I think we only have like 11 more films to go in this year, and then we are done another series. So alright guys, I will check you next week. Peace out.